Welcome to Screw the Commute, the entrepreneurial podcast dedicated to getting you out of the car and into the money. With your host, lifelong entrepreneur and multimillionaire, Tom Antion.
Hey everybody, it's Tom here with episode 1107 of Screw the Commute podcast, 1107. Today we're going to talk about the agent mode of ChatGPT, and I'm sure the other AI models have agent modes. They might call them something different. And I don't claim to be the big expert on this stuff, but I'm using these things to my advantage as fast as I can. I'll tell you that. All right. Hope you didn't miss episode 1106. That was Fake It Until You Break It. And this was telling you what to do and what not to do to really build credibility in the marketplace, even if you're brand new. All right, pick up a copy of my automation ebook at screwthecommute.com/automate free. Version 3.0 is the latest. However, if you hear me talking about short keys, which I've been talking about for 100 years, it's been discontinued as a program, and now it's a browser extension. So just keep that in mind until I update that book. All right, check out my mentor program at greatinternetmarketingtraining.com and my school at imtcva.org, certified to operate by Chev. All right, so let's talk about agent mode. Now, what's the difference between a prompt, just a regular prompt, and being in agent mode? And the prompts are a little bit different, I got to tell you. So a prompt is just to gather information, pretty much. The agent mode is to gather the information and then act on it on your behalf based on what you tell it to do. So that's why the prompts are a little bit different. Now, I'm going to give you a bunch of things you can do with agent mode, but what you want to think about it is that a prompt is kind of like just a one-time thing you told an intern to do. And agent mode is like a highly skilled virtual assistant that's going to go all the way through and think for itself after you prompt it properly and tell it what to do, and go do multiple steps for you and come up with outcomes for you. And also you can use what they call if-then logic. So you can tell it, hey, if you find this, then do this, do A. But if you find this other thing, then do B, that kind of thing. So it's a little more sophisticated than a regular prompt. But some of the things you can do is you can have it report or compile reports for you. It'll actually make presentations for you. You can tell it, okay, go out and find this XYZ information and then compile it into a slide deck for me of 10 slides and use this color scheme that I'm going to tell you about, and so forth. So it went out and found the information and then did something with the information. Of course, I would always double check what it did because you don't want to use hallucinations. It's still going to be subject to hallucinations. And if you don't know what that is, that's where it just makes up information out of clear blue. So you want to either feed it the sources that you want it to use. It might be your notes from a speech you did. You can feed it to that and have it use that as the source where it's going to grab the information to make a slide deck for you, something like that. And let's see, what else? Now, it'll do deep research, and somebody says, well, that's pretty much the same. You have deep research as agent mode deep research. And I agree, they're very, very similar. It's just that agent mode can, like I said, go and do more stuff with the information it comes out with. Another thing people are using it for is a trip planner. Let's say I'm doing a speaking engagement in Los Angeles, and I say, okay, I have to stay at this hotel, and I want to know 3 restaurants within a short 1-mile Uber drive that's 3 stars or better, and with this kind of budget for that. And I also want to know where the closest copy place like Kinko's is. It doesn't have to be Kinko's, but it has to be a copy place that's hopefully open 24/7. So anyway, I can tell it all this stuff, and then it's going to go find all this information for me and lay it out in whatever format I tell it. It could be, lay this out in a graph or a table of the different restaurants and the distance from the hotel and the addresses and the menus for them. Whatever whatever you tell it, it's going to go out and find it and then compile it for you. So that's like a trip planner. Now, also, people use it as a financial analyst. So you could upload your profit and loss statements and say, hey, I'd like to save about $500 a month. Where's the best places from what you can see that I have done in the past 3 months and where I could save about $500 a month? And so it'll analyze all the things and tell you where it appears to be overspending. And just crazy stuff it'll do for you. And of course, it can be used for content creation. So you can say, hey, go out and find this amount of information or this type of information. And here's my information on it. And let's combine it and create a 3-module video course on, just whatever you can dream up. You can tell it to do. You can tell it to create video scripts with the proper hooks and body and calls to action based on this content that I'm creating that's going to be put on YouTube and Vimeo. So you can really go deep with what you want to do. Another thing is outreach. So now I don't really want and trust to hook it to my Gmail and have it send automatic Gmails out to people. No. You can have it do that, but I don't trust it because if something was weird in there, then that's under my name. So I don't do that. But anyway, I could have it say, hey, go out and find, now here's the product I'm trying to promote. Go out and find 10 affiliates that have greater than 20,000 in their database, and they promote similar types of products, find their contact information, and create customized emails for each one of them based on what you can learn about them online. And of course, I'm going to look at each one and tweak it before I send it to them to be an affiliate for whatever product I'm promoting. See? So that's outreach kind of things. You can take it to the nth degree where you can hook it up to, dialers and make phone calls. I don't really do that kind of stuff, but you could do it. Sending texts, those things. Then recurring info is similar to the scheduling from just regular scheduling on a ChatGPT, but you can have it do research before the schedule occurs. So let's say I was looking for a new place to house my school. And so I'd say, hey, go out and within 5 miles of my address, my home address, because I don't want to go a long way to get to my school, find current listings for 3,500 square feet office space, preferably on the first floor, whatever the details were, and with at least 10 dedicated parking spaces, and report that to me every day. And if I was looking for a place for my school. So that's where it's going out and finding the information and then compiling it and delivering it to me, say. And it's going to change every day. That's the difference between just go out and find, some office space for me today. I want you to check, the places every day and then report it to me under that criteria. Now, it can do the same, the dreaded JOB, which I don't talk about a lot on this podcast. But if it was the dreaded JOB, you can say, go out and find job listings and give them the criteria, the salary range and the title that you're looking for, the type of job you're looking for, and it'll go out and do it for you. And then you can always hook it to a thing called Zapier. Zapier has a thing called Copilot now, which will help build these flows for you. So it goes out and does X, and then it goes, or let's say A. It goes out and does A, and then once it finds out what A is, it does B with that information, and then it does C and D and E as far as you want to lay it out there. So that's a little bit out of my pay grade. I don't do that kind of stuff too much, but you could. I mean, you could go out and find A, do B with it, and then for those phone numbers you can find, call these people and say this amount, this thing, so it's just crazy this stuff will do. But you can start basically just by going to ChatGPT and start a new chat. And then if it's not listed right there as agent mode, you just click more, and then there'll be agent mode, and you can prompt it. But like I said, the prompt is a little different because you're giving it multiple things to do, what they call workflows, rather than just one thing like, hey, who's got the best dog leash out there? So you're saying, okay, who's got the best dog leash? And then go out and reach out to them for prices and availability, and then find reviews on the specific dog leashes, and then give me a table with all the dog leashes, their prices, their links, their materials they're made from. It's just doing a whole bunch of stuff rather than just who's got the best dog leash. That's kind of a juvenile explanation of agents, because I'm brand new to this. Most people are. They're learning this stuff as we go. Some of this stuff's been around for a while, but it's evolving very quickly. And if you've listened to me a lot, you know that I use dull edge technology. All right, I wait till people figure most everything out, and then I dive in and make money with it. But we're kind of in the midst of that. Some of these people have been using agents for several years, and I just poo-pooed it because it wasn't to the point where it was easy enough for mere mortals to actually do this stuff. So anyway, there you go. That's agent mode of ChatGPT. And check out my mentor program at greatinternetmarketingtraining.com and my school at imtcva.org. Certified to operate by Chev, the State Council on Higher Education in Virginia, but you don't have to be in Virginia because it's quality distance learning. All right, check out Agent Mode, and I will catch you on the next episode. See you later.